बोले वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। उमापति महादेव की जय। श्रीमद् सद्गुरु सरकार की जय। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। श्रीमद् भागवत महापुराण की। प्रथमं सद्गुरुं वन्दे श्रीकृष्णं तदनन्तरं गुरुः पापात्मनां त्राता श्रीकृष्णस्य त्वमलात्मना। अहोवकीयं स्तनकालकूटं जिघांसया पाययदप्यसाध्वी लेभे गतिं धातृचितां ततोऽन्यं कं वा दयालुं शरणं व्रजेम। नमः कमलनाय नमः कमलमालिने नमः कमलपादाय नमस्ते कमलेक्षण यो ब्रह्मन्। आदरणीय वंदनीय पंडित गण, प्रिय सज्जनों, प्रिय भक्त समुदाय, महानुभाव, most worshipable Pandits, especially Pandit Satyanand Maharaj of the Satya Ananda Ashram in Arangwez and producer of Bhakti TV, the Pandit of the Upper Welcome Shiv Mandir, Pandit Baldat, other Pandits, dearest devotees of the Supreme Lord. First let me say Radhe Radhe to each and everyone, and my pranam, my humblest prostrations to all of you. A special welcome to our viewers on Bhakti TV, which has been carried live also at this time. We want to say special thanks to our sponsors of Bhakti TV. Jai's Transmission Limited specializes in diagnosing and overhauling and maintenance of automatic transmissions and hybrid vehicles. BSc Mechanical Engineering and Certified Hybrid Technician of number 5, Juve Rampasad Street, Arangwez. Telephone number 675-5234. The Little Store Limited of Rapsi Street, Kirap. Phone number 663-4415. Sital Fabricating and Construction Limited of Felicity. Phone number 671-5126. Tile Warehouse of 61 Limehead Road, Chase Village. Phone number 242-2337. I want to thank our sponsors. May the Supreme Lord shower His choicest blessings on them. Bless them in a most special way. They continue serving Dharma in the way they are doing, to help them to serve more and more. We are in this Tirath, in this Yatra, this divine journey of Shrimat Bhagavat Mahapuran. We started this journey 19 days ago. Today is the 19th session. We have a couple more to go. As we are doing 21 days, 21 sessions of this Shrimat Bhagavat Mahapuran, as we delved into the journey of this divinity, this most divine scripture called Shrimat Bhagavat Mahapuran. Many philosophers have accepted that where the philosophy of the Bible ends, the Gita, Bhagavad Gita begins. And where the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita finishes, Bhagavat Mahapuran starts. This is the ultimate scripture. It's the last scripture Veda Vyas wrote, which is the essence of all the Vedas, all the Upanishads, all the Puranas. And for this reason, Shrimat Bhagavat Mahapuran is called Pancham Ved, fifth Ved, as it is a translation of Vedas. We'll hear more about Bhagavat and the Katha tonight. As we always do, first let us join in Bhagavat Sumiran. Sumiran means to meditate, to remember. Let us meditate on the Supreme Lord, Bhagavan Shri Krishna, and Shiv Bhagavan, and Ganesh Ji, as we seek their blessings, their guidance and protection, that we're able to relate the Shrimad Bhagavat Mahapuran, and those who are listening also, that we should imbibe the truth, the true message being given. Let us all meditate on the Lord as we sing His glories. Riddhi Siddhi Data Siddhi Sadan Vadan Varna Sumiro Barambar Madan Kadan Ke Lal Ganapati Kripa Nidhan Gyan Khani Anand Bhavan Dehu Mohi Vardhan Varno Bhasha Bhagavat Jai Shiv Anand Kand Bhutanath Bhav Bhayaharan Bhakti Vishay Nirdvand Gaurvaran Mangal Kar He Braj Chand Mukund Braj Bhushan Dushan Haran Katahu Bhav Bhayapand Charan Sharan Li Aan Kar Jai 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 Jagadish Sevat Shesh Mahesh Aj Mahima Amit Abhed Dehu Mohi Bar Mahima Amit Abhed Ved Bhed Janat Neha Dehu Mohi Bardan Radha Var Yah Var Sada Prem Bhari Muskaan नित चित्त में खट काट रहे मोहि चाहिए कछु नाही और वस्तु प्रभु जात की बसी रहे मन माही यह बाकी झाकी सदा लिए लकुटिया हाथ गायन के पीछे फिरत ग्वाल बाल लिए साथ मोर मुकुट शिर पर धरे कर मुरली उर्माल शीश मुकुट कटी पीत पट या छविसो नंदलाल बसहु हृदय मम निशी दिवस गुरुपद रज धर शीश कहु भागवत की कथा जो शुकदेव मुनीश कवि सो परीक्षित निप अति भय निगम कल्पतरो गलितं फलम् सुख मुखादमृतत् द्रवसंयुतम् पिबत भागवतं रसमालयम् मुहुरहो रसिका भुवि भावुका। बोले श्री राधा कृष्ण भगवान की जय, सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, श्रीमद सद्गुरु सरकार की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय, श्रीमद् भागवत महापुराण की जय। As we begin Bhagavad Katha, it's customary, we'll sing the glories of the Lord for a few minutes. In the booklets you have, please turn to page 29. जय राधे जय राधे राधे, जय राधे जय श्री राधे,
जय राधे जय राधे राधे, जय राधे जय श्री राधे।
Page 2929. जय राधे जय राधे राधे, जय राधे जय श्री राधे, जय राधे
जय राधे राधे, जय राधे जय श्री राधे।
महल नहीं भूलूं तो ही पल छिन आधे, नहीं भूलो तो ही पल छिन आधे, अस अनुकंपा करु राधे।
नहीं भूलो तो ही पल छिन आधे, अस अनुकंपा करु राधे।
महल तहलिनी मोही बना दे, भैया परु राधे बलैया ले हो राधे। जय राधे जय राधे राधे, जय राधे जय श्री राधे, जय राधे
जय राधे राधे, जय राधे जय श्री राधे।
नव सुंदर्यां अंगजा बभूवर्णीथुनञ्चय, वीयस्यां भार्यमायां यस्तु तत्र पुमांस्त्वं परम्। जय राधे जय राधे राधे, जय राधे जय श्री राधे, जय राधे
जय राधे राधे, जय राधे जय श्री राधे।
कुंज कुंज बिच कुंज बिहारिणी बिहरित नित प्रति श्री राधे।
कुंज कुंज बिच कुंज बिहारिणी बिहरत नित प्रति श्री राधे।
गहवर वन में लतन पतन में ब्रज कन कन में श्री राधे।
गहवर वन में लतन पतन में ब्रज कन कन में श्री राधे।
ओ जय राधे जय राधे राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे।
जय राधे जय राधे राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे।
वतम राजार्षि प्रवरम भारत मृत्यु मृग शरीरम चरम शरीरेण विप्रत्वम गतमाहु। तत्रापि स्वजन संगाच भृशमो मध्ये जमानो भगवतः कर्म बंधु भेवम। जय राधे जय राधे राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे।
जय राधे जय राधे राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे।
पूरब राधे पश्चिम राधे उत्तर राधे दक्षिण राधे।
पूरब राधे पश्चिम राधे उत्तर राधे दक्षिण राधे।
ऊपर राधे नीचे राधे जित देखूं तित श्री राधे।
ऊपर राधे नीचे राधे जित देखो तित श्री राधे।
ओ जय राधे जय राधे राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे। जय
राधे जय राधे राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे।
बोले राधा कृष्ण भगवान की जय। कल 5वें अध्याय 5वें स्कंध 7वें अध्याय का 7वें और 8वें अध्याय का कथा सुनाया। थोड़ा संक्षेप में समझ लीजिए। Yesterday we heard the katha of Jar Bharat. 5th canto, chapter 7 and 8. In order to get the gist of today's katha, to understand, so I'll just give back a brief summary. This katha is known by many, but just to get our mind and understand. So we heard that there was a great devotee of Bhagwan Shri Krishna, Bade Bhakta the. He was the eldest son of Rishabh Bhagwan, the descension of Shri Krishna known as Rishabh Bhagwan, had 100 sons. The eldest was Jar Bharat. He ruled the whole world, one king, for 10 million years. While ruling, his mind was always absorbed in Shri Krishna. He was a great devotee. He then divided his kingdom among his children and went on the Gandaki, on the bank of the Gandaki Nadi. I told you there's a river. Today is called Nepal. This is all part of India at one time. There's a river called the Gandaki Nadi. It's also called Shaligam Kshetra. Because there's a mountain, stone mountain, on the bank of that river, and insects, they cut pebbles, the stone, and it falls in the water. In those stones, they are black in color. And in those stones, the insect, having cut them, wrong stones, from the mountain, the design of Bhagwan's weapon, Sudarshan Chakra, the discus, is found in those shaligram. There's a form of Bhagwan Krishna. He was given a shrap, a curse by Brinda to become a stone. And the Lord accepted, and he also, Brinda became Tulsi. It's a great blessing. People think, oh, how could the Lord trick his devotee? There's no trick. It's a divine pastime. When we see divine pastimes, you should not apply our material mind. This is whatever God does is only for the benefit of the world. At one time, Ganga, Saraswati, and Lakshmi, they gave each other shrap, curse. The shrap was given Ganga to Saraswati, you will become a river. Saraswati in turn gave a shrap. There were 3 wives of Shri Krishna at that time. They were all wives of Shri Krishna. This katha is in Devi Bhagavat, also in Brahma Vaivat Puran. So Shri Krishna had 3 wives, Mahavishnu, Ganga, Mahalakshmi, Saraswati. And they gave each other shrap. So Ganga became, she's a divine goddess. She was given a shrap. That's for the benefit of the world. She came as Ganga that purifies the whole world. First she remained in heaven as Mandakini. And then through Bhagirath, King Bhagirath, she came down, he brought her down through his tapasya, his devotion. The Shivji caught her in his jata, or she would have destroyed the earth. And then from there, she flowed the size of a mouth of a cow. So that is still today, you go in the Himalayas, from where Ganga originates, is called Gomukh. Lakshmi was also given a shrap that she'll become a river as well as a tree. There was a fight between Saraswati, Kauril, and Ganga, and Lakshmi just stood quietly. So you are like a tree, so become a tree. So this was already given that she was going to become Tulsi long before, and also a river. And Saraswati was also given the shrap to become a river. Anyhow, this is all divine pastime. That's given a history, so we don't get confused. One person expressed to me, oh, Swamiji, you talk about the katha of Jalandhar and Brinda, and I always wondered, how could the Lord trick his devotee? There's no trick. Brinda is Mahalakshmi, descension. It's all divine pastime. For the benefit of the world, today that Tulsi, these rivers, they're all sacred. If you were to understand the purity and that this is not a river but a divine goddess, people go, they just think a river and take bath, nothing happens. You have to focus your mind. We have to bathe the mind, not the body. Where's pap, sin stored? In the body? When people go to Ganga, they go to wash their sins. Where's the sin stored? In the body? No, in the mind. Man mein. So we have to bathe the mind. And we're bathed in body. We have to bathe the mind. Then the sin will wash. In other words, realize what is this Ganga. Meditate on Ganga. Then you will benefit. the tulsi plant. Bhagwan give that blessing to tulsi that wherever I am in worship, you will have to be there, or else I will not accept prasad, etc. Tulsi, so many benefits of the tulsi plant. Besides her being Mahalakshmi herself, there are so many medicines made from tulsi. Not going to go in detail. Just wanted to clarify that do not apply, or you see, divine pastimes. Why did Ram send Sita in the forest when she was pregnant? And then after Bhagwan took back his son, when the Lava and Kush went back, then Sita prayed to Mother Earth and opened and swallowed her, and people feel, oh, this is so bad. It's all divine. Ram and Sita are one and the same. They never separate. We apply our material mind. We look at God like man and woman. And we think that's how we suffer, they suffer also. No, they act. It's called Leela, divine pastime, for our benefit. They come in the world and perform actions like us. Tulsidas tells us in the Ramayana. भक्त हेतु भगवान प्रभु राम धरऊ तनु भूप हो रामा राम धरऊ तनु भूप किए चरित पावन परम प्राकृत नर अनुरूप हो रामा प्राकृत नर अनुरूप सियावर रामचंद्र कर जय शरणम शंकर हरि ओम जय जय सिया राम जय जय सिया राम जय जय सिया राम. That great saint Tulsidas Ji Maharaj is saying, Bhakt hetu Bhagavan Prabhu, for the sake of those who love him. Bhakt means one who loves God. Bhakt doesn't mean puja. Bhakt means one who loves God. Bhakti means love, prem. For those who love him, the Lord, Rama Dharau Tanubhup, he takes a form and comes in the world. Kiye charit pavan param, every action he performs is supremely sacred, purifying. By meditating on his divine pastime, you will attain Bhagwan. But Prakrit Nara Anurup, he behaves like a Prakrit, means material, worldly, just like a worldly person. And we read this divine pastime of the Lord and we get confused because we compare them to us who are under Maya. Bhagwan is beyond Maya. Bhagwan doesn't have anger, greed, jealousy, hatred, lust like us, fear, separation. No. Bhagwan is Anandamay, the storehouse of divine bliss, personified. And the same Bhagavati, divine Shakti. So we don't get confused. Enjoy the pastimes. Do not make it material. Then you're going to get confused. Then you will develop negative feeling for Bhagwan, then that be the end of you. It's called Nama Prad, unpardonable sin. Anyhow, so only the shaligrams that are found in that place in the Gandaki Nadi are considered to be the real ones. So on the bank of this Gandaki Nadi, there was an ashram of the mind-born sons of Brahma, Saptarishi. Two of them, Pulaha and Pulasya Muni. Bharatji went, Jar Bharat, and he continued his devotion in order to attain God realization. One day a pregnant deer came to drink water. Bharatji was sitting on the bank doing his bhakti. The lion roared, and the deer, to save her life, she got so scared, she tried to jump over the river. And in that jump, the baby that was in the womb fell in the water and started to drown. The deer ran away with fear in some cave, and due to the exertion and the miscarriage, she died. The baby is drowning, the baby deer. Bharatji saw that, he dove into the water, took the baby deer out and saved it and started taking care of that baby deer. And he got attached. He was self-realized Paramhans. I explained in detail last night. He had gotten rid of one form of Maya, avidya Maya. Rajogun, Tamogun. But Vidya Maya was still there. Sattvagun. He fell. He became so attached that when he was dying, he told the disciples to bring the deer. As he loved her so much. He's about to leave. They brought the deer and playing with her and petting her. He told them, this deer, I love her so much, please take special care. He died with his mind attached to the deer. And what happened? Yam yam vapi smaram bhavam tyajatyante kalevaram tam tamevaiti kaunteya sada tadbhava bhavitah. Gita. Bhagwan Krishna says in the Gita chapter 8 verse 6, wherever, when the life leaves this body, tyajatyante kalevaram, when the life leaves this body, wherever our mind is attached, whatever person or object is attached to, that is what we are going to attain. And where's our mind going to be attached? Whatever we remember that time. Yam yam vapi smaram bhavam, what we remember. Smaran means remember. And what are we going to remember? Our attachment, what we love, what we are attached to. So because Bharatji, his mind was attached to the deer, he remembered the deer only. And what happened? In the next life, he is born a deer. And that's why we keep rotating in 8.4 million forms of life. Bhagwan Shri Ram says to the residents of Ayodhya in the Ramayana, आकर 4 लाख 84 योनि भ्रमत यह जीव अविनाशी जय राम श्री आकर 4 लाख 84 योनि भ्रमत यह जीव अविनाशी. Bhagwan Shri Ram is saying to the residents of Ayodhya, Jivatma, the soul. We are not the body. This body belongs to us. We are the soul, Atma. And the soul is Avinashi, indestructible, eternal. Never had a beginning, will never have an end. But we keep rotating in 8.4 million forms of life due to our attachment to the material world. Identifying with this body, we make relations in the material world of the body. We get attached to the world and we keep rotating. Uncountable lifetimes. Bharatji, due to the bhakti he had done, he was a great devotee of Bhagavan, remember that. He had attained self-realization, but not God-realization. So he fell. Vidya Maya, he didn't cross Vidya Maya. To cross Vidya Maya, we have to do bhakti, have to. Shri Krishna makes it very clear in the Gita. Daivi hesha gunamai mama maya duratyaya mame vaye prapadyante maya metantarantite. Chapter 7 verse 14 Gita. Shri Krishna is talking about Guna Varika Maya, Vidya Maya, Sattva Gun. He says this Maya is a divine power, not an illusion. Mama Maya, he says the power that belongs to him, his power. So no Rishi, Muni, Jnani, no one can cross Maya by their own strength, their own power. How to cross? Mame vaye prapadyante. Ev means only. The Lord says only the person who completely surrenders to Shri Krishna, bhakti, can become free from Maya. So that Jnani, after attaining self-realization, he has to come and do bhakti in order to cross Vidya Maya. He has crossed a Vidya Maya. Jad Bharat, his devotion was so high. In Gita, Shri Krishna says, Prapya punya kitam lokanushitva shaswati samaha shuchinam shrimatam geho yoga bhrashto bhijayate. Chapter 6 verse 41 Gita. I was mentioning last night that when you do bhakti, everything else gets destroyed. Whatever, all the money you put in the bank, all the land you bought, all the house you may have built, whatever it is you have in the material world, everything stays here. You can't take it with you. One thing goes with us, besides our action, karma, acha, bura, good and bad, which will determine what will happen to you after you die. That goes, and if you have done bhakti, bhakti goes with you. However much you have done, that will stay with you for until when you will determine which home you will be born. If it's very high, someone has attained 90% love for Shri Krishna, for God. There's 10% remaining for perfection. So he has to come back in the world, take birth. He is born. Sometime in a very rich family, very beautiful, etc. But the environment is such an environment that even though he may have a lot of wealth, etc., he remains detached from the material world due to the sanskars, the mental tendencies from the past life. And that 10% that he has to attain, very quickly he attains it. Attains God realization. So Bharat remembered all the past knowledge. He retained, normally you don't. And in a body of a deer, an animal doesn't have knowledge. Human beings have knowledge. Human beings are told to be superior because of knowledge, Gyan. Bhagwan Shri Ram says to Bharatji in Chitrakoot, हित अनहित पशु पछियु जाना मनुष्य तनु गुण ज्ञान निधाना जय राम श्री राम हित अनहित पशु पक्षियों जाना मानुष तनु gun gyan nidhana. The gift, that great gift that places human beings on the higher plane to all the creatures in the world is the gift of Gyan. Jnana Nidhana, an abundance of knowledge has been given to human beings and not the other creatures. So creatures normally, they act on instinct. They don't have knowledge. They cannot discriminate what is right, what is wrong, real, unreal, etc. But Bharatji, even though he was in the body of a deer, retained all the knowledge, which is impossible. It's against the normal law. Because of his bhakti. तो जन्म लिया उन्होंने और तुरंत माँ बाप और सब कुछ छोड़ दिया और वहां पर वापस गए उसी आश्रम में जहां साधना करते थे। वहां जाके संत लोग का, ऋषि मुनि का जूठन खाने लगे और उनके मन में एक निश्चय था कि जल्दी से जल्दी ये जन्म खत्म करना ताकि हमारा पूर्ण हो जाएगा। भरत जी, in the form of a deer, the moment he was born, because he retained the full knowledge, even from the birth. You can't teach a deer and send him to school. From birth. Very quickly he ran away from the mother and the other deers and went back to the ashram on the bank of the Gandaki Nadi. There were rishis and munis and saints and sages there. He went back to the same place that he was doing sadhana bhakti. And there he would only eat the leftovers of the saints and the sages. Jutan, normally we should not eat juta, somebody's juta, what somebody has eaten and left, especially in this age of COVID. But when it comes to saints, we should greedily devour it. Devour. When it comes to bhakt, devotee, when it comes to saint, Gaurang Mahaprabhu says, Bhakt pad dhuri, bhakt pad jal, bhakt avashish, tin mahabal. The dust of the lotus feet of a saint, a true devotee. Bhakt means saint, God realized. One who loves God, as I told you, beyond everything. Bhakta pada jal, the water that washes the lotus feet of that devotee, that saint, is called Charanamrit. Or Bhakta avashish, ushish, his jutan, when he is eaten, what is left over. Whatever clothes he has worn, whatever he has touched even. These are of great power to one who is doing bhakti, who is following the path. Very quickly, by utilizing this, you can cross Maya. So powerful, these three things are. But if it's done with faith, if you have the faith and you know what you're eating, look. We come and we offer prasad to God. We make Mohan Bhog and we buy fruits, etc. and we come and we offer to Bhagwan. But we don't know if Bhagwan has eaten. We just go and do like this and say some mantra and then we say, okay, prasad, have some. So we don't know. But when a saint who is God personified, Shri Krishna himself says, Acharya mam vijaniyan nava manyet karhichit namartya buddhya suyet sarvadeva mayo guru. Bhagavat Mahapuran 11 Canto 17 chapter 27 verse. Shri Krishna is saying to Uddhav, Uddhav, know the saint to be me, Shri Krishna personified. Mam Vijaniya. Do not see him as a material person. Do not use your material mind and intellect to understand him, and know that all forms of God resides in that saint. When you meet a true saint, you have met God personified. Now, as I said, you do not know Bhagwan has eaten, but the saint, you can see him eaten. You know he has eaten. And that is why when we offer to Bhagwan, we say prasad. When a saint has eaten and whatever he remains, we call it Mahaprasad. Not just prasad, Mahaprasad, because he is actually eaten. And that's all Jar Bharat in the form of a deer. A little bit of grass, but mostly that he would eat. Very quickly, whatever little bit he had to do in the body of a deer, he attained it. Prapt kiya. Very quickly, he left the body. He discarded that body of a deer. Very quickly, all this was done. And then what happened? We'll do a bhajan. In the booklets, you have page 26. Radhe Radhe Govind Radhe 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 Radhe
Govind Radhe 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 Radhe.
Hey Shri Radha, Hey Shri Krishna, let me never forget you even for a moment. Tum bhi nahi bhulo mohi, and I should not forget you. Don't forget me, my Lord. And I should never forget you even for a moment. Radhe Radhe Govind Radhe 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 Radhe
Radhe Govind Radhe 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 Radhe.
तुम भी नहीं भूलो मोहि पल छिन आधे तुम मैं भी न भूलूं तो ही राधे 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 मैं भी
न भूलो तो ही राधे 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 राधे.
ओ राधे राधे गोविंद राधे 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 गोविंद
राधे 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 राधे.
हे राधा कृष्ण, हे श्री कृष्ण, हे राधा रानी, make me such a way that I should not feel like living even for a moment without you. तुम बिनु जियो नहीं, तुम बिनु जियो नहीं, एक छिन राधे तुम बिनु जियो
नहीं, एक छिन राधे.
ऐसी बना दे मोहि राधे 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 ऐसी बना दे मोहि
राधे 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 राधे.
राधे 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 राधे
राधे राधे.
ओ राधे राधे गोविंद राधे 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 राधे
गोविंद राधे 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 राधे.
च पुनः शौचाच मनादीन कर्म निर्मना तभेयि प्रेतानपि सम शिक्षया निशितेन हि भव्यं पितुः पुत्रेणो तिसच चापि च सन्निधावे वासाधि क्षीणमिव स्म करोति च। राधे राधे गोविंद राधे 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 गोविंद
राधे 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 राधे।
पतित जनन तो हित, पतित जनन हित तो हित जी राधे।
पतित जनन हित तो हित जी राधे।
और थोर हो तो बता दे राधे राधे राधे। और थोर
हो तो बता दे राधे राधे राधे।
ओ गुरु ने जनाया जाना तू ही मेरी राधे।
गुरु ने जनाया जाना तू ही मेरी राधे।
हाँ, हे राधा रानी, हे Shri Krishna, the Guru has given me the knowledge. Sit in my intellect. It is sitting in my intellect. It has become firm in my mind that you alone belong to me. I have no one and nothing else in the world but you alone. Guru ne janaya jana tu hi meri radhe. Guru ne janaya
जाना तू ही मेरी राधे।
माना नहीं, ओ माना नहीं, तू ही मनवा दे राधे राधे राधे। माना
नहीं तू ही मनवा दे राधे राधे राधे।
अगणित अधमन अपनाय राधे।
अगणित अगणन अपनाय राधे।
ओ अपना कृपालु को भी राधे 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 राधे। अपना
कृपालु को भी राधे 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 राधे।
राधे राधे राधे
राधे राधे
राधे राधे राधे राधे राधे राधे राधे राधे राधे
राधे
राधे
राधे
राधे राधे राधे राधे राधे राधे
राधे राधे।
राधे राधे गोविंद राधे 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 राधे
राधे राधे गोविंद राधे 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 राधे।
हाँ, अब उसको छोड़ दिया और तुरंत जन्म मिल गया। तुरंत, ये नहीं कि 84 लाख में घूमना, तुरंत हिरण के देह में जन्म मिल गया। और वो छोड़ के तुरंत एक ब्राह्मण के घर में पैदा हुआ। वो ब्राह्मण अंगिरा, वो भी मानस पुत्र ब्रह्मा के, उनके परंपरा से जन्म लिया। Jar Bharat. We normally, because we are attached in the material world, we keep rotating in 8.4 million forms of life. It takes a long, long time to get birth in the human form. In the Vedas, Kathopanishad, it says, Iha ched dashakat bodhum prak sharirasa vissasa तथा सर्गेषु लोकेषु शरीरत्वाय कल्पते. Kathopanishad 2, 3, 4. The Vedas say, hey human beings, make every attempt to attain the ultimate aim of human birth, God realization. If you don't, what will happen? You'll be doing the greatest harm to yourself. What harm? You'll have to rotate in 8.4 million forms of life as ordained by divine law. For how long? Billions and billions of years. The word here is sarga. Sarga means kalp. Kalp means 12 hours of Brahma, the creator. 4,294,080,000 years. and plural Sargeshu. For many kalps, we rotate in 8.4 million forms. We, the worldly soul, not Jar Bharat. His devotion was great. He just got attached. Maya is so powerful that he reached so high. We should never challenge Maya. So high he reached and fell. So powerful is Maya. Why? Because it's the power of Shri Krishna. It is his power. So Maya has the same amount of power as Shri Krishna. No one can challenge. Anyhow, Jar Bharat, as soon as he died in the form of Jar Bharat, he was born immediately in the body of a deer, Hiran. And as soon as he left that body, died as a deer, immediately he was born in the home of a Brahmin. What kind of Brahmin? The Brahmin of Satyug. This Brahmin belonged to the lineage of Angira. Paulasya, Pulasya, Pulaha, Narad, Vashisht, Angira, etc. These are all, they are called Saptarishi. The Saptarishi, the 7 rishis, and they are mind-born sons of Brahma. So Angira was also one of the mind-born sons. In his lineage, this Brahman, in the age of Satyug, Jar Bharat was now born in that home. This Brahman had 2 wives. The younger wife, she gave birth to twins, Jurva, a girl and a boy, ek larki larka. And the boy was Jar Bharat. Ab Jar Bharat, यहाँ भी पूरा ज्ञान. अब तो भक्त बन गया, अभी संत बन गया. Here also Jar Bharat has full knowledge. But now is no surprise because now he has become a saint. He's attained God realization. But he's taken bath. Saints come in the world again and again for many different reasons to help us, the worldly souls. Now he has full knowledge. But remember in all that happened to him in the past, that he had reached such a high stage, self-realized Paramhans. He got attached to a deer and he fell. Now he kept away from everyone. He pretended to be Gunga. He pretended to be dumb, deaf, mute. He pretended to be the most stupid person you will find. This is not surprising. God and the saints, when they come in the world, they hide themselves. It's a nature. They hide themselves. Gopaniyam, gopaniyam, gopaniyam prayatnataha. That's why nobody benefits. We think that if we were to see God, when he came as Sri Ram, when he came as Sri Krishna, if we were to see them, we would fall on unconscious with bliss. Bhaiya, we saw them. Not once, not twice, uncountable time. We, the Jivatma, the individual soul, just as God is unborn, eternal, beginningless, the Jivatma, the individual soul, is also unborn, eternal, beginningless. Whenever God descends in the world as Ram, Krishna, etc., we were always there. But what happened? Ram, Siya Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Bolo. Bolo Ram, Siya Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Bolo Ram. Om भावना जैसी प्रभु मूर्ति देखी तिन तैसी। बोलो
राम सिया राम जय जय राम। राम सिया राम जय जय राम।
ओ चिदानंदमय देह तुम्हारी विगत विकार जानी अधिकार। बोलो
राम सिया राम जय
बड़ी
जय राम।
बोलो राम सिया राम जय जय राम। बोलो राम
सिया राम जय जय राम।
These eyes we have, what does the eye do? It sees. It looks at things, it sees. What can the eye see? Material objects, because our eyes are material. They cannot see divine. Tulsidas is saying, Ja ki rahi bhavana jaisi, Prabhu murati dekhi tina taisi. When we worldly people, how we are on the inside, we meet divine entities, whether it's God or a saint, who is God personified. Just as how we are on the inside, we see them in the same way. It gets reflected like a mirror. If we are rajasic, tamasic, if we are tamasic, we are very bad, evil, and we meet God or a saint, evil man, evil. If we are rajasic, we are passionate, we love money, etc. And we meet God or a saint, I know he likes money, greedy fella. And if we are sattvic, we have higher noble thoughts, and we meet God or a saint, I know. Acha admi, good man, better than me, but good. And God and the saints are beyond Maya. Unless they shower their grace, unless we are deserving, nobody benefits. Uncountable times we have seen God. Uncountable times we have been in the association of saints. But we use our material intellect and judge. That's why instead of benefiting, most time we got harm instead. We judge. Is he a saint? Is he Bhagavan? Why is he behaving like that? Why does he speak like that? Why does he eat like that? Etc. Doubt, question. Chidanandamaya deha tumhari. Just as God is divine, his body is also divine. But to see divine body of God, bigata bikar jani adhikari. One has to become free from Maya. He has to be deserving. In other words, God, you have to have divine eyes to see divine God. Even Arjun had to be given divya drishti to see who Krishna was, Shri Krishna. No one benefits. So the saints, this is their nature. Bhagavan also hide himself. So Jar Bharat, he pretended to be most foolish, most stupid. People will call him, you 2-foot animal, you brute. They will curse and criticize and call him donkey, gadha. And he pretended to be just like what they call him. He didn't care. A saint doesn't look for good name. God and the saint, they don't want good name and fame. And we people in the world, we want people, nobody can say even one wrong thing about us. We want to kill them. Are, being on the Maya, we have all the faults. Which fault we don't have as long as we are on the Maya? Greed, anger, jealousy, hatred, lust. Every fault we have. We can't see it. It's a different thing. We can see everybody else, but we can't see ourselves. Because of ego, abhiman. The more ego we have, the more we think we are great. So we love to be flattered. We love when people flatter us. You know, there's a saying, your basket holds a lot of water. We love flattery. Somebody tells us nice thing. Oh, you're such a nice girl. You're nice lady. You're such a good fella. Yeah. This is my friend. A good person. And somebody tell us something. Oh, you're a donkey. He's my enemy. I'll kill him. And actually, the one who is flattering us is our worst enemy. Because he wants something. We don't realize. We do the same thing. The more the outward love and affection is shown for anyone in the world, the greater is the selfishness involved. This is a divine law. Jate kachu nij swarat hoi, ta par mamta karai sab koi. Shankar Bhagwan is saying to Parvati, this is the basis of all worldly affection. When someone does what we want, they accept what we did. They listen to us. I love you. And the day they don't listen, they don't do what we want. I hate you. That's what is called love and hate in the world. The satisfaction, non-satisfaction of our selfishness. There's no love. Love is a divine power that controls even Shri Krishna. So, they would call him all kinds of things. The father tried his best. Wo Brahman, his father was a top Brahman. He tried his best. He taught Bharat, Jar Bharat in every way. This is how he got the name Jar Bharat. Jar means stupid, foolish, inearth. This is how he got the name. Before his name was Bharat, but he got the name Jar Bharat because he pretended to be most stupid, most foolish. He was a high saint. But he pretended to be, he hid himself. The father tried teaching him good conduct, how he should behave. He's a Brahman, being the son of a Brahman. He was invested with the Janeu, Sanskar, everything. But he would do completely opposite what the father would say. जो भी पिता आप बोलेंगे ऐसा ऐसा करो वो पूरा उल्टा करते हैं. The father will try his best to teach him, beta, this is the thing you should do. Try to teach him the Vedas, recite the Gayatri Mantra, etc. He would do the complete opposite. The father tried, but soon the father died before he could complete the training. अब उनके भाई साहब और भैया और कई भाई हैं उनके जो बड़ी माँ के बेटे थे. वो सोचे ये महामूर्ख, इसको ये टाइम वेस्ट क्या करेंगे, ये कुछ आएंगे नहीं इसको कोई ज्ञान, तो वो छोड़ दिया इनको सिखाने. Now he had other brothers, elder brothers with who the father had with the other wife, the first wife, so they were elder to him. They thought this is all useless. He's such a fool. He doesn't even learn anything. He can't even say ka, kha, ga, gha. Alphabet, he can't even say ABC. Why teach such a fool? So they give up trying to teach him. Ye Mahamurkha is so foolish. So Jar Bharat, like that, घर को छोड़ दिया और कहीं जाते हैं और जो भी कोई कार्य देते हैं ऐसे करते थे. So very quickly, no one cared about him. He was like a stain in the family. So no one cared. So he just left and nobody even bothered. His mother, the moment his father died, the mother committed sati also. She also ascended the pyre. And the other mother didn't care. Sauteli Ma, the stepmother. So he left home. And whatever menial kind of job, people, because he was very powerful, strong, Balwan, his body was very powerful, he was powerfully built. So whatever people will give him some work to do, labor, he was a Brahman. Lekin Shudra wale kaam karte. He was a Brahman, but no work was bad for him or good. When one transcends the body, When we identify with the body, we think I am Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, so this is the right job. There's benefit in that, material benefit. You can go to heaven, etc. That's all, nothing more. But one transcends that. मैं आत्मा हूं भैया, आत्मा का ब्राह्मण क्षत्रिय वैश्य शूद्र नहीं होता. One realizes I am the soul, the Atma. The soul has no title. The soul is not a Trinidadian, Guyanese, American, Indian. It is not a Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. It is not a Hindu, a Muslim, a Christian, a Buddhist. It is not black, blue, white. No. The soul, the Atma has no title. The soul is the same in all. Same. That's why the one with the true eye, a saint, he sees equality everywhere. He sees the soul everywhere. He sees whether someone is a Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, whether it's an elephant, a dog, a cat, a tree. He sees equality in all because what he sees the soul, he sees Bhagavan. Siya Ram mai sab jag jani, karahu pranam jori jug pani. Like Hanuman ji. Everywhere Hanuman looked, he sees his beloved Sitaram. And putting his hand together in every particle of the world, he did pranam. Everywhere. Not high and low. But that's the true jnani, the true knowledge, the true bhakt. This was the stage that Jar Bharat belonged to at that time now. So he saw quality everywhere. So no work was too low or too high for him. Actually, he loved doing the lowest kind of work. And so whatever work he would do, people will give him some money or give him some food. He didn't care for money, didn't have any attachment to that. Just people will give him food. So what he would get sometime, thoda milte hai, kha lete hai. He would get something to eat. Sometimes weeks upon week, he would not get anything to eat. And then he will get, agar swadisht hai, khate hai, nahi, usme swad hai nahi, to wo bhi kha. He didn't care whether it was tasty or not tasty. We, unless the food is very tasty, masala and pepper and deep fry, pizza. And some people already bought us that coming. Then we'll eat and somebody give you some boiled tarkari, steamed vegetable. Just steam the vegetable and give you to eat. No salt, nothing. Hey, bhaiya, what is this? We think I'm a goat? An animal? You giving me grass to eat? We don't eat healthy. We are human beings. We are supposed to be very intelligent. You know how intelligent we are? We destroy food. We destroy all the vitamin and mineral and protein, everything. Deep fry. And then we eat. And then we say, I'm so intelligent. Yeah, but think about it. So Bharat, all he had to do was nourish, he taught about nourish in the body. Whether you're a saint, a yogi, rishi, muni, as long as you live in this world, you have to eat food. Hawa khana parega, you have to take air, you have to drink water, you have to eat. But Bharat, when he would eat. Whatever he got, he ate. कभी सोचते नहीं. और जमीन पर सोते थे. तो पूरा शरीर मट्टी से भरता. He used to sleep on the bare ground. He didn't care to get a nice mattress. What can we have nowadays? You get promises that this mattress, if you can't sleep, it will make you sleep for sure. People spend thousands and thousands of dollars in the kind of mattress and bed to sleep on. But when it comes to sleep, we have no rule. Whole night on Facebook, social media. Sometimes we go to sleep 6 o'clock, sometimes 10 o'clock, sometimes 4 o'clock in the morning, sometimes whole night we wake. No rules, no regulation. A saint doesn't care. Bharat, he slept on the ground. Why do I need a bed? The Lord has provided me the best bed. He would lie in the ground, and so his body became filled with the dirt became his clothes. He never took bath. और नहाते नहीं. He only wore one piece of cloth around his loin, a langot, thin strip of cloth around the loin, because he had to live in the world. He didn't care about that also. लेकिन संसार में रहना तो कुछ करना पड़ेगा. You have to follow certain etiquette. You want to live in the world. So there's a piece of cloth, but it was so, because he never changed it, that was also very dirty. सब गंदे थे. और जनेऊ भी पहनते, लेकिन वो भी बहुत गंदा. He also wore जनेऊ, being a Brahmin, but that was also very dirty. He never changed it. He didn't bathe or anything. कुछ भी नहीं करते. एक बार ऐसे घूमते घूमते एक वन में आए. वहां कुछ वनवासी लोग पुत्र पाने के लिए भद्रकाली की प्रात का वो तंत्र मंत्र जंतल कर रहे थे. तो वो सोचे भद्रकाली को संतुष्ट करने के लिए बलिहार देना पड़ेगा, बलि देना. लेकिन जानवर की बलि नहीं, मनुष्य की बलि. तो उन्होंने देखा एक उनके पैरों का चिन्ह यहां कोई है, तो भरत को मिल गया. सोचे ये तो इतना बड़ा है और इतना पहलवान है, वो बहुत बढ़िया. तो उनको बांध दिया, रस्सी से पकड़ लिया और ले गया बलि देने के लिए. Once Bali was walking around like this in the forest. He didn't care where he was or what, anything. All his mind was focused on Bhagwan, absorbed in the thought of Bhagwan at all times. Devotees are like that. And there were some Banavasi, wild people, tribal people, that used to do Balidan, sacrifices to Kali. So the chief of that tribe, the tribal people, he wanted to get a son. And he thought that if he were to sacrifice a human being to Bhadra Kali, Mother Kali, that she will be happy and she will grant him a son. So they started looking for a human being to sacrifice. And then people sacrifice animals, etc. In ages gone by, this is a certain type of worship, tantra, not in Kali Yuga. It's prohibited. Strictly prohibited. It's most dangerous. Should not be done in Kali Yuga. In Kali Yuga, great saints have worshipped the Divine Mother. One of the greatest, Ram Krishna Padamhans. He used to offer fruits, etc. This is how, offer coconut, fruits. This is what we should do in Kali Yuga. Blood should not be shed. Nishedh, it is prohibited. There's great danger in doing that, very great danger. Anyhow, I don't want to go too much detail in that. So, these tribal people, they saw footprints and they followed it, and then they saw Jar Bharat. And of course, looking very strong, powerful, and healthy, they thought he's a good one to sacrifice. So they caught hold of him, tied him up with rope, and they took him to the chief. What happened? Let's sing a couple lines of a beautiful bhajan, and then we will see what happens. What happened there? Page 3. The beautiful bhajan to the Divine Mother of the Universe. The same Kali, the same Durga, the same Lakshmi. They all come from the same Divine Shakti, Radha Rani. O Ma Shama Teri, Jo Charan Sharan Aaye, O Ma Shama
जो चरण शरण आए
माया की कौन कहे, मायापति घबराए, माया
की कौन कहे, मायापति घबराए।
बन चरे नाचरण को श्रुति निंदित बतराए, बन चरे
आचरण को श्रुति निंदित बतराए।
ओ सहचरी करी उन सबको निज भुज भरी उरलाए,
सहचरी करी उन सबको निज भुज भरी उरलाए।
ओ माँ, ओ माँ,
ओ माँ,
तेरी अनुकंपा थे। By the grace of Radha Rani, Shama, the Divine Mother, Shivji took part in Maharas. He became a gopi. Shiv became Shivani. Teri anukampa the Shiv gopi bani aaye. हो सनकादि ब्रह्म ज्ञानी तनुलतन पतन पाए,
सनकादि ब्रह्म ज्ञानी तनुलतन पतन पाए।
ओ माँ, श्यामा तेरी जो चरण शरण आए।
ओ माँ श्यामा तेरी जो चरण शरण आए।
है चाह कृपालु मेरी तेरी ही कहलाए,
है चाह कृपालु मेरी तेरी ही कहलाए।
ओ भूले भटके कब हूँ तब सेवा मिल जाए,
भूले भटके कब हूँ तब सेवा मिल जाए।
ओ माँ, ओ माँ,
ओ माँ,
ओ माँ, श्यामा तेरी जो चरण शरण आए। ओ
माँ श्यामा तेरी जो चरण शरण आए।
राधा कृष्ण भगवान की जय। तो वो वनवासी लोग भरत जी को बांध के अपने मुखिया के पास ले गया। उन्होंने कहा ठीक है, बढ़िया है। तो उसको नहलाया, कपड़े अच्छे अच्छे कपड़े पहना दिया, गहने वगैरह, माला, ये सब कुछ, चंदन इत्यादि लगाया, वो और खाना भी खिलाया। वो तैयारी करते इनको बलि देने के लिए। So now they took him before the chief, and the chief said, "Ah, बढ़िया, अच्छा, he's very nice." So they give him a bath. Remember, he never used to bathe. They give him a bath, clean all the dirt. They give him nice, fresh clothes to put on, clean clothes, beautiful bracelets, jeweled. They decorated him nicely, put a nice garland, malas around his neck. They prepare him for that to be offered to the Devi. Sandal paste on the forehead, etc. अब इनकी पूजा भी किया. Now, when you're going to sacrifice, whatever you have to sacrifice, in the case we do fruits, like coconut, you have to puja it first. You have to do certain puja. So they did all the puja to him. They offered flowers, they offered incense, arti, they put the mala again, parched grains, chawal, naye patte, they put new leaves, fruits, everything that was offered that you worship in. He had to be worshipped in order to offer him to the Devi. अब वो वनवासी के जो मुखिया है वही पुरोहित बन गए और एक तलवार को लेके, बहुत टीका तलवार, और देवी का मंत्र गा के इसमें भी टीका वगैरह लगाया और उसी को बलि करने के लिए गए भरत जी का. Then the chief of that wild tribe, those tribal people, he himself became the priest. And a very sharp, long sword, very sharp. And then they puja the sword also. They have to put tika and the arti, the sword and everything. Special mantras to the Devi, blessing that sword. That this is the sword we're going to use to do the bali. That we're going to satisfy this Devi. And he raised the sword. और क्या हुआ? देवी प्रकट गई. देवी प्रकट हो गई और उसी तलवार को लेके सारे को नाश कर दिया. सब का गर्दन काट दिया. And they're about to sacrifice. This is a saint. When it comes to saint and sage, Bhagwan protects his saints and sages. The Devi appeared. The Devi appeared there and she took the sword. The same sword they were going to sacrifice Jar Bharat, and she started taking off their heads. She came with her Devis, her assistants, the whole retinue. And they are dancing and shouting. I say, Sharid, she came in that form of Bhadrakali, Chandika. And she is destroying everyone. बहुत गुस्से से. When you try to harm a devotee, it's very dangerous. I told you, Tulsidas ji says in the Ramayana, let's do it. Chalo. सुनो सुरेश रघुनाथ सुभाव, निज अपराध रिसाही न काहू बोलो
राम 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 राजा राम 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 बोलो राम 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 राजा राम राम राम
जो अपराध भगत कर करई राम रोष पावक सो जरई बोलो
राम 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 राजा राम 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 बोलो राम 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 राजा राम राम राम
हाँ सुनो सुरेश रघुनाथ सुभाऊ तुलसीदास जी महाराज is saying what is the nature of Bhagwan? Swabhav means nature. Nij aparadha risahi na kahu. People curse God. They think bad about God. If their desire is fulfilled, Jai Hanuman, Jai Durga, Jai, and the desire is not fulfilled, it's waste of time. They curse God. Bhagwan doesn't get angry. He knows that we are all ignorant anyhow. But jo aparad bhagat kar karai, to Ram rosh pavak so jarai. But when someone tries to harm a devotee of Bhagwan, to hurt a devotee of the Lord, then his anger becomes like a huge fire. He destroys that person. Don't ever try to harm a devotee, not even in thought. What happened to Hiranyakashipu? He tried to harm Prahlad. He tried in every way. Could not. The Lord himself came. Or he sent his Sudarshan Chakra. As in the case of Durvasa. Durvasa Muni, he's a Muni, a Rishi. He tried to harm a devotee, Ambarish. Bhagwan sent his Sudarshan Chakra. Or he sends his divine power, as in the case of Bhadrakali Chandika, in this case, to destroy those who try to kill his devotee, Jar Bharat. Bhagwan gets very angry when you try to harm. यहाँ कहते हैं शुकदेव जी कि जो भी आप करेंगे उस भक्त के बारे वही आपके ऊपर आ जाएंगे. That when you try to harm a devotee of the Lord, that same thing comes back on you. The same thing falls on you. In other words, you're the same, you dig in a hole for someone and you fall in the same hole. The same thing is going to destroy you. The same, they were going to kill Jar Bharat with that sword, that same sword, finish them off. The Devi used it and finished them off. अब यहां कोई आश्चर्य की बात नहीं है कि जर भरत को गुस्सा नहीं आया क्योंकि वो हर को एक की तरह देखते हैं. And it's not surprising, Shukdev ji says, that Jar Bharat felt no anger. He didn't even resist when they came to kill him. Because for one, he doesn't identify with the body. And for a devotee, whatever happens is the grace of the Lord. Whatever happens for the best. We in the world don't think like that. If good thing happen, Jai Bhagwan, Jai Ho. And bad thing happen, boo. We think God is angry. No, a devotee sees everything as kripa, kripa. The worst thing is the best kripa, the highest kripa. Because one, it is the fruit of my action. And the one who's given the fruit, who determines the fruit? By the action I perform. I do good action, I'll get good fruit. I do bad action, I'll get bad fruit. God gives us free will. Karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. Chapter 2, verse 47. He gives us free will, do whatever you want. But He does not give us the right to the fruit. God says, I reserve that right. If you do good action, I'll give you good fruit. You do bad action, I'll give you bad fruit. Go ahead and do what you want. We cannot blame Bhagavan. People blame the neighbor, they always find somebody to blame. Nobody blames themselves. But a devotee knows whatever happens is an outcome of the actions I have performed. Number one. Number two, the one who is given the fruit is Bhagavan. And if I love Bhagavan, whatever Bhagavan give is prasad. A devotee takes everything like prasad, grace, kripa. This is why Bhagavan Sri Ram says to Shabari, Ashtam Jatha Labha Santosha. Oh Shabari, the 8th type of bhakti devotion is to be contented whether in gain or loss. The worst thing happened, a devotee says, Jai Bhagwan, Jai Krishna, Jai Maharaji. You love me so much, you know what is best for me. One day we have to reach that stage. If you haven't reached yes yet, there you have to go. When you see everything as kripa, 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 grace. So Bharat, for him everything happens is the grace of the Lord, and he sees with an eye of equality. Everything is equal. He sees soul, everything. And they'd hold him and tie him up, whatever. This was his karma. Prarabdha, bhogna hai. So Bharat had no enmity in his mind. To him, he was friend to all souls. Doesn't matter what happened. This is the great katha of Bharat. There's more. We'll hear some other time. Bole Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai. Shrimat Sadguru Sarkar ki jai. Siyavar Ramchandra ki jai. Umapati Mahadev ki jai. Before finish, let me again give a brief mention to our wonderful sponsors, especially the sponsors of Bhakti TV, the Little Store Limited of Rapsi Street, Kirap, phone number 663-4415, Sital Fabricating and Construction Limited of Felicity, phone number 671-5126, Tile Warehouse of 61 Limehead Road, Chase Village, phone number 242-2337, Jai's Transmission Limited, specializing in diagnosing and overhauling and maintenance of automatic transmissions and hybrid vehicles, of number 5 Jewry Rampasad Street, Arangwes, telephone number 675-5234. Well, to thank them very much. May the Supreme Lord shower His choicest blessings on them. Well, I'd also like to thank Pandit Satyanand Maharaj, the producer of Bhakti TV, the spiritual head of the Satya Anand Ashram in Arangwes, for the wonderful job he's doing by taking this throughout the world. Through Bhakti TV, so many souls are benefiting. We'd like to thank Pandit Baldaj also, who is a Pandit here in the upper welcome, Shiv Mandir. We'd like to thank the members and board of the Shiv Mandir for being part of our Tirat, our pilgrimage, our journey, this divine journey of Shrimat Bhagavat Mahapuran Yatra. I know Sonji is here tonight also. He also did a lot to help to make sure the program was successful. And thank Sonji Bhaiya also too for all the wonderful help he gave, making sure this success. Jai Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe.